So, guys, according to this headline, it says that ISWAP releases photo of attack on Nigerian military base in Borno, claims many soldiers have been killed, and 12 armored tanks vehicles have been destroyed. So, guys, you need to see how these guys are working strong and stronger in the north, and guess what, the military is still not being able to challenge these guys and to bring their activities to a stop. Now, when you look at this post, this headline says, this is coming from the Chief of Defense Staff, and he once said, this is even a new post, you can see the date, dated December 27, 2024, and it says, new terror group Lukarawa initially seemed friendly, but now a significant threat, says Nigerian Defense Chief. So, guys, it is only in Nigeria that terror groups are seen to be friendly. I mean, in the north, you see a terror group and you say they initially seemed to be friendly, but now they've changed from not, no longer being friendly again. And this other headline says, Nigeria's terror group Lukarawa is nothing new. It existed because of government failure. Analysts. So, guys, you can see how these people are just, playing with fire. And now these guys went to the north. They went to the Nigerian military base and did something that is unbelievable. And after they did it, they now began to release the photos of what they did on the internet. So, guys, the Nigerian military is losing this fight from the look of things, because these guys are daring our military. This is a fight that has been fought for years. Until today, we are still not positioning ourselves to at least to show that we are already winning the war. Even if we have not finally won it, we are not positioning ourselves. So I'm going to allow you to take a look at how, Mayegun has analyzed this and what is currently happening in the north. Just take a look for yourself.
They said that Nigeria is safe, according to these guys, and they kept repeating that, hoping that will make it true. But it can't make it true. You know what I mean? You cannot be doing what is called the catch and release arrangement with terrorists, and the same terrorists are making a kill, kidnapping your own citizens, killing them, slaughtering them at will, billing them. They are even taxing them at will. And then whenever you capture any of them, then you have a program called Operation Safe Corridor, where you can easily release them back into the wild. Okay, because once they swear by the Holy Quran that they will not do it again, then that's it. All the atrocities they've committed, all the killings they have done, all the kidnappings, all the raping and all of that, the ethnic cleansing, so to say, that they have committed, right, can be forgiven once they hold the Quran and say they won't do it again. So that is called catch and release. So no matter how many times you repeat the lies of the end of the terrorism in that contraption, it will make it stop. So yesterday, the ISWAP, which have now come out to claim responsibility, they attacked a military base in Borno, where they slaughtered as many soldiers as they could see on site. And then they burned down all the vehicles, the military vehicles, armored personnel carriers. They burned down about 6 armored personnel carriers, APC, those things they used in that war. They burned down about 6 of them, military vehicles, buildings, and all that. And then when they were done, the bodies of Nigerian soldiers littered the entire compound. I don't know if you have seen it. So the terrorists, in their usual way, they targeted the military post. There is no intelligence report to warn them of the impending attack, because they are treating terrorists in northern part of Nigeria as their brothers. They have the Nigerian army, like they did with the Lakurawas, the Lakurawa terrorists, which is believed to be funded by France and the Netifnumbu's regime as well, according to this Nigerian leader. Okay, the Lakurawas that were arrested by the Nigerian government confessed to the warm welcome and then a bit of a waiver they gave to them, Nigerian military gave to them in Nigeria. And what was that? Just recently, when this Lakurawa of a thing became public, the Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, from Southern Kaduna, that guy came out and said the Lakurawas were not seen as a threat. They said they were peaceful terrorists. Okay? So Lakurawas that are actually, hardened terrorists as well. Since 2018, Nigerian military, the Nigerian intelligence community, gave them a waiver. They called them friendly terrorists. Friendly. Until recently, when they now claim that they are now going after the Lakurawas, because the Lakurawas have started ransacking villages, kidnapping people, raping women and children, and converting some areas to ungoverned areas that are part of Nigeria today. They have many of these communities in the hands of different sets of terrorists in northern Nigeria. Nigeria have places called ungoverned areas. Ungoverned areas means there is no presence of Nigeria or government or any of their agents in those communities, and they are within the 12 Sharia states of northern Nigeria. This is like in-house arrangements, okay, that the military, they are willing to come out and defend them in such a way that I have never seen before, okay? Intelligence report is to tell you if you have, for example, if you have an intel for the gathering of a terrorist in any part of northern Nigeria, which is the reason why you actually you call the place the theater of war, okay, where you are supposed to have different kind of agents, those who are clothed and those who are not, all right, plain clothes, intelligence agents who are supposed to kind of prevent or report an impending attack before they happen. But in northern part of Nigeria, that is not the case. A lady was arrested. Well, there's this other report where a lady or like women are being used to move weapons like bullets and all that by the terrorists, different kind of terrorists. So in northern part of Nigeria, including the Nigerian edge, bordering the Lake Chad, where you have all these Sahel states as well, So Nigeria has no border. In northern part of Nigeria, there is no border there at all, except just a demarcation, just something to say, this is where Nigeria ends. And this is where Cameroon starts. This is where Niger Republic starts. This is, you know what I mean? Like there is no border. It's just like walk in, walk out. The terrorist walks in, they walk out. So they make the entire border of Nigeria, in northern part of Nigeria, they make it like their base. They can attack Niger Republic from there. They can attack Nigeria. They can ransack, ravage communities, villages in Nigeria, and then go back to the Lake Chad. That way, that's how they have been operating for decades. So they have areas where Nigerians are paying taxes to terrorists in that same northern part of Nigeria. And they have been like that for more than 7 years now. Ungoverned areas in Nigeria. You see, those who are Nigerians, they're those who have nowhere to run to. Majority of the inhabitants of the areas, right? Majority of them have moved far away to another place that they consider safe, but they are called the IDP camp, refugee camps. Those are the survivors of all those attacks. Those who couldn't move, they stayed back, and they are forced to cough out hundreds of millions of naira, if not billions of naira, as taxes. So for them to plant, for them to cultivate the land, to grow their food, they have to pay taxes to these terrorists. I'm talking about terrorists that are actually living there. These are not it's not as if to say, oh, they threaten them, okay, and they run into the bush. No. The terrorists are living in those communities as heads of those communities in Nigeria. as we speak. But they've succeeded in making it pretty much like a non-issue for some of you in Nigeria by playing it down. Terrorists have claimed lands, territories in Nigeria, and it's been in existence now for over 7 years. Okay, so they initially had the Boko Haram. Then the Boko Haram splitted into two. So they became ISWAP. Then ISWAP also splitted into two. They became ISWAP 1, ISWAP 2. Then the Fulani terrorists also came, who also claim, they also claimed there's some territories for themselves, from Nasarawa to Zamfara, from Zamfara to Katsina, to part of Kaduna, to Sokoto, where Sokoto is controlled by the Lakurawa terrorists. When it comes to the ISWAP, Boko Haram, and then they control Borno straight to the Lake Chad, to the border and the rest of that. And the Nigerian army, who majority of them have been posted there to they call them the war front or something like that, to the front. Apart from the fact that they are poorly paid, right? They are pretty much existing in something like in a blank. Okay, there's no intelligence report, any reliable intelligence report per se, and there's been so much compromise within the same Nigerian army, where repentant terrorists are being readmitted into the Nigerian army, given different names under different operations, mixing them up with the soldiers. So then you have the Air Force. The Air Force, who are supposed to also be a little bit above board. The entire system has become so compromised that you will hear the accidental bombing of civilians by the Nigerian Air Force. A situation whereby whenever the terrorist attacks, the evidence is splashed all over the internet, all over the social media. Or the Nigerian military or their head, they are more interested in pushing propaganda, fear, threats, especially threats against the citizens who speaks out against them. They will push threats. But when they claim to have killed terrorists, we never really see the evidence, but they are running it with propaganda. They will tell themselves that they have done so well. Everything is fine now, blah, 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 blah. You know, the saddest part as well is this. There has been so many Nigerian soldiers killed by these terrorists that their family members still believed that they are still alive, but they are dead already. Yeah, I mean, it may be shocking to you, but it shouldn't be shocking to those who have been following the development in that place for years now. Yeah, they've had a situation whereby people or families still believes that they have they believe that their relatives are still alive. Meanwhile, they are dead years now. They haven't heard from them. The excuse then is just to say, well, they have been busy and they are still fighting Boko Haram. It is so bad enough that if the terrorists themselves did not actually splash out the videos, the pictures of what they did in Borno State, they could have cooked up another lie to cover it up while lives are lost. Now, right now, the only report we heard is that about 8 soldiers were killed. And this is just because of the amateur video made and released, the one I shared with you earlier. We have no idea. We have no name. See, how can you be a soldier, for example, if any soldier, or as they call it in America, any Marine dies anywhere, whether he dies in America, in service, or he died outside America, a Marine that dies, you will get to know the name. You will get to see the level, the honor they will give to that, the body of that Marine, that you will feel like he died for his country. In Nigeria, have you seen where they pack dead bodies, dead soldiers together before? Have you seen how, then the fact that they can't even give them the honor by naming them, for people to actually get to, to picture their faces and say, oh my God, look at this and look at that. And rather, they will do everything to cover it up or downplay it, except when they want to make a political theater out of it. Like when the what do you call it, the oil bunkers in Niger Delta, clashed with Nigerian soldiers, and then they killed 14 of them in that creek, only for the Nigerian army to wage war against a community of civilians, burn down the entire community, Okwama community, if you remember that. But to justify that, to make it look like you don't touch a soldier, you don't ever kill a soldier, they had to give them this national barrier that was televised. But go and take a look at all the soldiers they are killing every day in northern part of Nigeria. They are just being killed like they are just piece of animal. They are just like an animal, useless or worthless animals. You will never even see their faces in the media. You will never see their names. You will never, nothing to make you feel like you're actually a soldier who died for your country. So if you die for Nigeria, you die wrongfully. So a lady was captured. They said they usually send women to help them mobilize their ammunition. Okay, and here is one of them.
Don't worry, I said we're going to commander. Snapper, snapper ma. Kai dan iska ne. Kaga wannan koya wannan dan iska ne. Ba bido. I'll start now. Har mu kula mashin naka na zamu kai zuwa headquarter har da kai musiya. Daga wani gari kika fito yanzu?
Nan ne ga yammacin
Abuka. Kana ji? Yammacin Gusa. Kana ji? Zaka bi mu zamu je headquarter tare da kai. Anka? Daga Anka kike zo? Daga Anka kike zo da kayan? Daga Anka. Okay, an ake ki daga Anka.
Yayin kariya ne go.
Daga Anka. Ina miki magana.
Daga nan ne na je Anka.
To da kosu da kanki. Okay, tsaya ina zuwa. Tsaya nan. Okay, daga Anka, tsaya mana. Daga Anka ne aka baki wannan?
Daga nan ne aka.
Okay, an baki anan ki kai Anka.
A'a daga can Anka ne aka.
Okay, an baki a can a Anka. Ki kawo nan. Waya baki a Anka?
Ba san sunan shi ba.
Shi wani yare ne wanda ya baki?
Bahaushe ne. Bahaushe ne ban taba ganin huskar shi ba yau ɗaya na yari zuwa.
Ke ya sunanki?
Na ce Shamsiya.
Shamsiya. Kina da aure? Yanwa. Bro. Ya sunan mijinki? Ka gani ko? Ka gara ki shine ne ta maka. Ai nake aure zama wannan.
Nan da kwara.
Sidai siyan ba. Yanzu nan wannan wani kika saukin san yawan su anan?
Wallahi ban taba sanin yawan su ba.
So nawa kina irin wannan abun?
Ban ma taba ganin su.
Sami bila sai God don't give you the vision. So nawa kina irin wannan? God don't give you the vision. Saba yake. Mayu.
Ban taba ba sai.
Don't ce washi. Okay, inspector. Sa'annin ki dauko mu gani. Kin san wannan yanzu yana kashe mutum ko bai kashe mutum?
Wallahi ni da an tura ni au an so ko na san yana.
To daga ina aka tura ki?
Daga nan ne aka tura ni.
Aka ce ki je ki karbo.
An ce na je an so sa.
To me yasa ke kin san sakon da Bauram?
Wallahi ban sani.
So nawa kina irin wannan yanzu?
Mai zo mana.
Now this policeman. Kana bai da wai za su. Ka fa bana ina Mustafa ne ma. Yawa Mustafa ya bare. Ina zuwa. Kai wannan hadisi ma an baki magana zan ci ubanki.
Nan ce ban taba yi ba.
Baki taba yi ba. Wannan shi ne na farko ko na biyu?
Shine na farko.
Kin siya sunanki?
Na ce Shamsiya.
Some people they with this woman where they pass this woman. You don't know. Na Samaila. Abin da nake son gane shi. Kin san cewa na kashe mutum ko ba sani ba.
Na san cewa na kashe.
Kana zamu ga kana na kin san ko menene kin san ko menene.
Wallahi wannan ko ne.
Ka san me zan gane ki? Kalli ki. A irin kina san cewa baki da. Wallahi san cewa baki.
Kabar shi nake kabar. Nace saboda ban taba yi ba shi yasa na kalle ni ka gane.
Suwaye suka irin wannan wanda ke san sa wanda yake yi ba
idan na ce na san wanda yake
ɗayan kino suna da rai za ki ji daɗi a kashe ƴaƴan
ba na so a kashe wani da na sa a haka ne ba zai
a'a kin sani ai abin da yasa na gane kin sani kin sani dama don aka jira baki da kono
kawai ba abada
Wallahi na anka. Because of the religion, under the cover of a religion in northern part of Nigeria, women are not meant to be searched. Do you understand? Because of the way they dress and the religion itself. So the terrorists then make use of them in moving some of their petty weapons. Most of the time, when the terrorists attack military base or military posts, they usually do so under their own intelligence report that that particular place, excuse me, that particular place has some weaponry that they can take. Okay. And therefore, when they are coming with some dreaded, like, force. But the real ammunitions that these terrorists are using is believed to be supplied by those that are taking all the mineral resources that they are illegally mining in some of the areas where the terrorism actually thrives. Okay? So we have come to establish the fact that if you pay attention to the areas where the terrorists, whether the Fulani terrorists or Lakurawa or ISWAP or Boko Haram, the areas where the terrorism is very strong, they are areas that are, strongly guided by these terrorists. They are areas where mineral resources, like, are pretty much like well deposited. So these are areas where they are doing illegal minings. And the only way they can get control over those mining sites is to, number one, chase away the real owners of the communities, kill as many of them as possible, then chase the rest of them away. So those who usually come in to drop weapons for them, they drop weapons for them in exchange for the mineral resources they are mining from these areas. There has been evidence of that. And that is why when the Nigerian army or Nigerian DSS or this, including your NSA, when they claim that terrorism can never end, it can only be managed, then you can see their culpability. You can see their own collusion. It was one of, what's this man's name again? Danjuma, who told us then that as a retired chief of defense staff himself, Minister of Defense, Danjuma said that from his own intel, the hills of Taraba and then the mountain or what have you of the Benue and all this middle belt parts of Nigeria that the Fulani terrorists and other terrorists are clamoring to overrun, that they are being kind of like, supported or guided by the top hierarchy of the Nigerian army. Nobody did anything to that man, but he said it openly. He said they collude, because none of these terrorists or terror group could have lasted this long without the collaboration or the collusion of those who are supposed to be in the military of Nigeria, the intelligence community, as well as the government of Nigeria. They couldn't have lasted this long without their cooperation or their guide or what have you. So Northern Nigeria is a place where the life of their people, as well as the life of Nigerians, doesn't really matter to these bloodthirsty criminals.
So guys, you have seen it. This is what we are saying, that see, our military, they are not serious. For them to come out and tell Nigerians that these people initially seemed to be friendly, but now they are no longer. Guys, that sends a very shocking wave to Nigerians. For our military to come out to tell us that initially they know that this group is a terror group, but they initially thought that it's going to be a friendly group. They didn't know that these guys mean business. And see how the Nigerian military lives of soldiers are being paid. I mean, the Nigerian soldiers are risking their lives because of some of the mistakes of these leaders. You can imagine to this extent them telling us that they thought that this group was a friendly group, only for them to realize that this group is not a friendly group. It's only in Nigeria that they will believe that a terror group can be friendly. Where else on earth can you see your enemy and then you say that you thought your enemy came in peace? Can you imagine that? It is only in Nigeria. So guys, a whole lot is happening in this country. We are just wondering when we are going to have patriotic leaders who are ready to take Nigeria to its destination, because as it stands now, I don't think we are there, and we are nowhere closer to being there. So guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.